Time now to talk more politics. I'm joined by John Brummett, columnist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He's also a Talk Business and Politics contributor. Welcome back. Always good to have you with us.
Always an honor to be asked.
What do you make of this crazy scheme to defund Arkansas Works so that we can fund Arkansas Works? It kind of came out of some sort of magical concoction.
Here's what I make of it. The 10, including Senator Clark, whom you just had, are not moving. Maybe one of them would move, but they need two to move. If they're not moving, you got to find a way around them. And I know of the person who came up with this idea. I can't tell just yet.
Right.
But if we're going to have any Medicaid, if we're going to get out of this potential crisis, not being able to fund Medicaid, much less the expansion any of Medicaid, if this thing breaks down, here is a way around it. So you put in a special language to take the Medicaid expansion money out. You pass it because presumably some of those obstructionists will vote for it. Then the governor vetoes it, and then they can't override the veto. It's weird. It's remarkable, but it's a way around the 10. And I was disappointed, and have said so in a column today, that the Democrats tried to milk this a little bit, rather than saying, okay, let's work with you on this plan. And there may be questions about it. I'm not saying that they're, but they said, well, it's not our job to bail you out on your 10 obstructionists, but it is their job in terms of their public responsibility to work with a governor with whom they happen to have the blessing of agreement to get this solved.
So you don't think the Democrats should stand their ground? They've been beat up for 3 years on the private option.
So
they've lost their legislative majorities as a result of it. They've been beat up for 6 years in Obamacare.
Okay,
so
Roby,
why should they not stand their ground on
What's
this?
their ground? Are they against Medicaid expansion?
No, but their ground could be, you're the Republicans, you're in charge, you control all the levers of government, you got to get 2 of your 10 people to come over to your side.
And if not?
Well, if not, then what?
Then what? Yeah, if not, then what? Rather than, I mean, if the Arkansas Democrats have finally decided to try to be a political party and to be a minority party and take a stand, is this the stand they want to take? We're not going to cooperate with the governor on trying to keep Medicaid and Medicaid expansion. I think it's the absolute worst place to draw the line. Go to bat for pre-K funding, restoring cuts to libraries, restoring cuts to community health centers, thousands of things. Try to put some tax cuts back. But to fight over this, is this what the Democratic Party wants to do? Is this what you want to do?
You're getting dog cussed on Facebook as we speak. I can already see it right now.
I hope so.
What would persuade 2 of those Senate Republicans in that group of 10, what could persuade them to come over and change their votes? Do you see any of them being persuaded by something?
I don't.
Managed care, something for their districts.
Managed care loses you as many as you get. That's where you get into the gridlock here. You fix it for one person here, you mess it up over there, and the margins are so tight. I think there's one of the 10, not to call that name, who would vote for it, but doesn't want to be alone. There's no point in that candidate. I almost used the gender. In that candidate. Or that senator taking a stand unless it matters, unless somebody goes with, I started to say the gender, that candidate, or that senator, I mean. So I don't know. I think one is possibly movable. I don't know the second just yet. What might, just an appeal to reason and to avoiding this brinkmanship, Washington-style brinkmanship. There might be someone in those 9 or 10 who would just decide not to be a party to that kind of thing.
And the governor has said, come let us reason together. But does this reflect that Governor Asa Hutchinson and the Republicans don't have the party discipline that we did see with the Democrats and Mike Beebe?
Well, of course. The Republicans are now a major majority party, and they've got, have you looked at national Republican politics? They're not one party. They've got some Trump, they've got some Cruz, they've got some establishment, and they're about to be run asunder in Cleveland, Ohio. That's Arkansas having the same sort of thing happening. Governor Hutchinson has the Republican Party. The majority of his legislators are with him, and you would think with the Democrats, to try to save Medicaid expansion. He's got 10 who are unreasonable, but it's not. this democratic notion that it's his fault he's got 10 that are unreasonable, I simply don't accept. I think everybody ought to get together and beat the 10 rather than trying to say, ha ha, you've got 10, you're stuck with them. Because this is pretty important.
What is your prediction for what plays out this next week? I could not get our two previous guests, Representative Gray or Senator Clark, to give me a very accurate prediction. They told me what they wanted, and one said he couldn't predict. But what do you predict will happen next week?
I believe that we have the great good fortune to have a couple of even-tempered chamber leaders, particularly Senator Dismang, who was standing up against me in defending Democrats. That's how well he plays the game in his Senate. I think some device to escape the 10, because I think that's more likely than getting 2 of the 10 to change. I think it will all somehow work out. And if it is this plan, if it's this plan to put in language that you then line item veto out, somebody will sue, and we'll see. But I think they'll lose. But I don't have my law license on me, but I think they will lose.
I think that that's what plays out too. I think
do
we
too.
see the plan that was crafted that the Democrats balked at in Joint Budget Committee. I think they need a little bit of time to digest
I
it.
do concede that the Democrats have an argument that they needed time to step back and process that. I do concede that.
Maybe even caucus and talk about it.
Well, but the governor had
Hadn't had
met
that
with the
much time,
Senate
though.
Democrats. Well, don't get me started. We'll go. But I do not agree that this is an opportunity to say, yeah, Asa, you're stuck with those 10, live with them. I don't believe that's a fair way to approach this issue.
All right. He is John Brummett with Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Talk Business and Politics contributor. Always good to have you with
Great,
us.
thanks.
All right, thank you.